Hey guys, Wyatt Claypool here. I'm not currently in my normal studio space back in Calgary. Sorry for the inconsistency that you'll notice in some of the videos. But you know what is consistent in Canadian politics? Mark Carney is terrible at speaking. At some point, you would think this guy would eventually learn how to be a little bit smoother on the stump, get a little bit better at asking questions. But in fact, it actually seems like Mark Carney is getting worse whenever you hand him a microphone. The man has been in the public eye for over a decade, giving speeches, sitting on panels, and he still speaks like he's a fifth grader giving a classroom presentation and he doesn't know where it's going. Before I get into some of these clips, I just want to remind you guys, if you like my coverage, hit the subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. But there's going to be some longer clips here, but I just want to hammer home the fact that this guy thinks he can negotiate with US President Donald Trump. There is a reason why Trump wants this guy to win, not because he likes liberals, but he's the president of the United States. He doesn't care what happens in Canada, and in fact, it benefits Trump to negotiate against the stupidest, least competent person, and that, in this case, is Mark Carney by a mile.
They do not need DFO or federal authorization.
And by the way, the context of this question is just him being asked a question about First Nations fishing rights. And yeah, this is about to go sideways.
And they are going to fish to assert their inherent Aboriginal rights. Do you support this?
What I support is dialogue which balances Aboriginal rights, the realities of the fishery that works towards a sustainable fishery here in Nova Scotia, throughout Atlantic Canada, across this country. And it's one of many reasons why I'm proud to be standing up here with Jaime Batista, and as well as Darren Fisher, and well as the whole group, because what we bring, and this is a core point, this is a fundamental point.
He's currently buying himself time because he doesn't know what he's saying, so he's just going to say things about how fundamental all this is.
What the Liberal Party is bringing to this election is all of Canada. Whether it's a Sean Fraser or Jaime Batista, Darren Fisher, okay, I'm going to get in trouble, Lena, and beyond, everyone behind me and beyond.
This is horrific. And by the way, he mentioned I'll get in trouble here is because he doesn't even know his own candidates' names. He's so badly prepped and he doesn't know anything about the actual political landscape. He's just a backroom policy guy that he can't actually keep his own candidate's name straight. And that goes on for another minute of him either just cycling through pre-rehearsed platitudes to buy himself time or having absolutely nothing to say and just going and ah with nothing else there. Here's another one where he is struggling to answer a question in French. This is a 33-second clip, so bear with me. This is him trying to answer a question in French, and then eventually he just gives up and just starts answering in English. This is how bad his French is. This is why whenever I see a federal poll come out that has the Liberals doing super well in Quebec and the Bloc Québécois doing badly, I don't believe them. I think this guy's going to get his clock cleaned. There's a reason why he is not going to attend the TVA debate. This doesn't mean the Conservatives are going to win a big majority. I think it's more likely than not that the Conservatives win some form of a government. There is a chance the Liberals win. Obviously, the election has tightened. I've never disputed that. But this guy, I don't think is going to come out on top just based on performances like this.
Pardon, la dernière partie de...
Juste, si vous pouvez traduire votre réponse sur la Chine, est-ce que vous êtes compromis?
Compromis, pas du tout. Pas du tout. Je travaille pour les Canadiens et les Canadiens. C'est facile. M. Poilievre, il devient de plus en plus fâché et désespéré. Il invente toutes les choses. Il est un homme he's a conspiracy theorist. Spends too much time with his MAGA friends, and he comes up with whatever he can think of.
He literally couldn't figure out the words for that. His French is terrible. And know whose French is excellent? Pierre Poilievre, Blanchette, even Jake Meat Sings. French, compared to Mark Carney's, is excellent. Elizabeth May's is good too compared to Mark Carney. That is why I think that this guy is going to become a complete dud when more Canadians actually watch. Because early on the election, a lot of people are not really going to be paying deep attention to what's going on. Even clips that Mark Carney's own people put up are horrific. Here is one that he posted on his own X account, and it's just full of nothing, no energy, no detail, nothing.
You know, this
This is about specifically the Trump tariffs on vehicles, on automobiles.
will hurt us, but through this period, by being together, we will emerge stronger. I think what's happened, and this was part of our discussion, over the course of the last several months, Canadians as a whole across this country, have gotten over the shock of the betrayal and are learning lessons. We have to look out for ourselves, and we have to look out for each other.
Who likes this? If you know somebody who thinks he's great, goodness commit them, because there is nothing going on in that guy's head. He is an AI that doesn't work properly because he can't actually be smooth like an AI would be. Here's another clip of him. This is actually specifically posted on the Liberals X page. I'm not playing clips from like conservatives cutting out of context saying this guy has no energy. These are the clips that the Liberals thought were good.
Canadian auto workers don't just build vehicles, they build Canada. And our auto sector has always been there for our country. So in this time of uncertainty and need, Canada will be there for our auto workers.
It's nothing. It's gunk. But no, who's actually this is again where I don't believe that the conservatives are going to lose this election. Again, that doesn't mean there's not the possibility. But in terms of my probabilities, I think you give a good 75, 80% chance right now for the conservatives to win this election. Obviously, they can fall on their faces. Never underestimate the Conservative Party's ability to mess stuff up. But the one thing that they really have going into this election is not just younger voters or young men, but it's union people now. This is basically a guy on screen who is probably the key demographic right now for the Conservative Party. A voter who probably last election cycle may have voted NDP or Liberal, but now is voting Conservative because of the disrespect that the Liberals have, not just for private sector workers, but for even public sector workers who work with their hands. Because the Liberals have become the party of pensioners, and I know many of you guys would fall into the older pensioner category, but you're conservatives. But their only demographics are people who are pensioners in the GTA and public sector workers who work white-collar jobs specifically.
There are unions endorsing a conservative government right now, publicly, with written letters, with open letters. Never thought I'd ever see that. But that'll tell you something about how bad the Liberals fucked up. I used to get calls from the president of our local, whoever the president was at the time, usually about a month before an election. And then he'd tell me, oh, no, you got to vote Liberal, or you got to vote NDP, or you have to vote, we're just suggesting, and blah, blah, blah. We can't tell you what to do, but we're going to suggest it. Just anything but conservative. To hear these guys change their fucking tune, that was priceless. And really, when it comes down to it, it's all about the money. So long as we have a liberal government in power, that money is not going in the pockets of Canadians. It's going overseas, foreign interests. And that's just the truth of it. And that's my take.
I think that's a great take, other than the swearing. That would have been nice if I could have cut that out. But the show must go on. I don't have the time to do that. But that's, I think, a big key demographic that we're going to see, that the Conservatives could actually get major pickups in areas like Hamilton, any areas where there was manufacturing, anywhere there's hands-on jobs. Because right now, the Liberal Party, I would say, is the party of soft jobs. And I work a soft job, I will say. But the problem is that they have become a party for people who don't live the way people lived like 30 years ago. The people who vote Liberal work in marketing agencies and HR departments, and they work as like accountants because maybe they like the CRA rules right now. But they've missed the old working class that used to swing towards whatever party seemed to have better control of the country. And it would be so sad to see the Conservatives not win, at least a minority government, because it would show that there's a certain type of Canadian who just doesn't really take issues seriously anymore. They're voting for vibes. They just want to vote for whoever isn't Donald Trump. And Pierre Poilievre's Donald Trump for some reason, or whatever. And it's like, guys, man, you're really taking the country for granted if you think that the way we should be voting is whatever would annoy somebody on Fox News. How about you vote for something that will actually make the country better? That will actually get GDP per capita up, not just pump the GDP, because so many people are single issue pension voters or are single issue social voters. Oh, I want to feel socially like I care, and we need to be voting for the people who are socially conscious, and the orange man is bad. It's like, oh my goodness, people. How about like, and the thing is, I still think the Conservatives are probably in the lead right now and can win a minority government. The fact that it's going to be like a dragging and kicking and pulling people to get them to like vote for something like that, like even reflects that you've taken economics 101 is insane, because so many people want to live in the fantasy world. They want to live in the fantasy world. That soft politics, all about how nice. We want to vote for nice people. We want to vote for, the person who really cares and the person who's going to stand up for Canada. Like, what does that mean at the end of the day? At the same time, if Poilievre proposed tomorrow, we're going to cut the corporate taxes, all these people will be like, oh my goodness, he's a corporate stooge. I'm like, well, the Americans cut their corporate taxes, and now you're going to get mad that Poilievre wants to cut our corporate taxes? You don't actually care about the issues. You just like to pretend you care about the issues. But now I'm debating with someone who's not even here. Anyways, I know that none of you guys are reflected in that, but that's just my take on things right now. That should be it for me today, guys. I'm going to do a bit of a polling update in the next day or two to see where things are at, how things could shake out. Again, I trust good polling. That doesn't mean that every poll that comes out that has the Conservatives down is bad. It also doesn't mean that every poll should be trusted or is indicative of anything. There are firms I don't even listen to anymore because their numbers are so inconsistent over time. Could the Conservatives conceivably be down at this point? Sure. At the same time, when ECO says it's 52% liberal to like 35% conservative, no. They have like the Conservatives losing in Alberta. No. Walk around Alberta for 5 minutes and you'll know that's wrong. But anyways, so that's it for me today, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, do all that great stuff. And I'll see you guys next time, hopefully from my nicer looking studio. See ya.